Daylight come and you're listening to Buzz Pucks.
Hey.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Welcome back to Buzz Pucks.
Hello.
We are here.
Sorry, I just blew you out right there.
Yeah, did you notice that I leaned back?
I leaned back too.
After the first one you did.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I didn't realize how loud I was going to come off.
We are here for the penultimate week of the regular season. And it's really... next week is only like a half week.
Yeah, there's
'cause,
only...
the last games of the regular season are on Thursday.
Friday.
Thursday.
There's a Friday game.
Is there now?
I guess.
Are you crazy sure?
Buffalo has a Friday game. That's the only reason I know.
Oh, maybe their schedule is so weird that even NHL.com is like, oh, do they have a game?
Monday, Tuesday. They have the Rangers, Devils Monday, Tuesday, and then Ottawa, Columbus Thursday, Friday.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You are correct. There's actually 2 games on Friday.
Oh, there are.
My bad. I thought the 14th was Thursday. The 14th is Friday. My apologies. So Friday is the last day of the season.
And we are down to the wire for the playoff hunts.
We are. I mean, everybody...
Also, I'm Clay.
Oh, I'm Bert.
Oh, cool.
I don't... Did
I'm
we
not
say that?
Maybe.
You guys know who you're listening to
At this point.
If you ever hear a girl talking, that's Jenny.
Yep.
You know, the wild card spots specifically are getting kind of tight.
They're getting wild.
They're getting wild and crazy, and it might come down the last day of the season
For both the West and the East.
Yeah, it's really coming down to the wire, which makes it more fun. Last year, the East specifically, all 8 playoff teams were decided by like
Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Even Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like all 8 of them were so way far ahead of everyone else that it was just like, oh, well, those are the 8 teams that'll be in the playoffs. Now it got close at the very, very end between the Penguins and Washington trying to not make the playoffs last year, but they both did. This year, one of them is maybe going to make the playoffs, but that's not set in stone.
Nope.
And
the other one is actually in spot to draft Bedard.
I'm going to be so fucking angry.
As everyone should.
If they get the first pick.
Everyone should.
And then at least for the first few seasons, Connor Bedard gets to play with Alex Ovechkin.
Yep.
That would be, oh, God. I mean, if it was any other team.
Yep.
If it was any other division. The Metro one of the teams keeps getting up in the top 3 of the lottery draft. Now, it doesn't always work out, a la Nolan Patrick in Philadelphia.
Well, but that's injury.
But that was injury related, yeah. Oh, man. Well, before we get into the penultimate week, what are we drinking, Clay?
We are drinking American Solera Brewery. We're doing their Chi Chi Boom Boom.
I picked this one up.
It's a Imperial Gose. It's a sour ale. It's got pineapple.
Never heard of an Imperial Gose before.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's pineapple, coconut, macadamia nut, marshmallow, vanilla.
Whoa.
It's got sugar and salt. It's 8%.
You're about to have an experience when you take
your
first sip. Oh, yeah.
Good or bad?
No, good. But it kind of goes through all of those flavors that you were just naming. That's really interesting, actually. I was like taken aback because it was like pineapple, coconut, and then the nuts, and then the
vanilla, marshmallow,
and the villa, and then at the very end is the sea salt.
Yeah.
That's a good beer.
Ooh,
Chi Chi Boom. It's
Chi
actually
Boom.
there was a beer I grabbed last week just for me, and
for farts and chuckles.
Yeah, to soothe my wounded mind.
Yeah,
and I actually don't remember what the name of it was, but it was like a pina colada beer, and it had a cute little purple monkey on it.
Ooh.
And I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna grab that for next week." And he did not have it this week, so I grabbed this instead. But I'm glad I did because it's good. That one was also a sour, which was also 8%.
Awesome.
So worked out either way. I'm starting us off this week.
Woot woot.
And we are starting in the Metropolitan Division.
Snooty.
Ooh, the Carolina Hurricanes went 1-2 this week. Now, they're currently in first place in the Metro.
Yes.
Have a playoff spot locked.
That can change.
But they do not have number 1 in the Metro locked because New Jersey is right behind them. And going 1-2 this week, that kind of guarantees that they're going to have to full on play I think the last 2 games this week.
Yeah.
which is great for me because one of those games is against Florida. But this week, oh, I'm sorry, they go 1-1-1. Oh no. Oh no, they won in overtime. I'm sorry, I was misreading it. They beat Ottawa in overtime,
Yes,
3-2, where Kokanyemi and Brady Shea had a goal and an assist.
Kokanyemi has been popping off.
He has. He's been playing
This
pretty
year?
well. Specifically the
Back
last
half of the-
month,
back
month
half
or
of the
so.
year.
He's been playing pretty well. Who has played pretty well the entire season? Martin Nachos, who had the
Yes.
overtime game winner. Did I say Kokanyemi and Shea had a goal and an assist?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
You did.
And I think it's Stefan Nason had 2 assists in this
Okay.
game. Moving on, they got shut out by Nashville 3-0, where unfortunately they outshot Nashville 33-23.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how we'll talk about Nashville later, but like Nashville's still in the hunt. They ain't dead yet.
Which is nuts with how many guys they traded off at the
Yeah.
trade deadline. And they're right there. And a lot of that has to do with UC Saros.
Yes.
Let's be totally clear.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
And then Carolina finished off the week by losing to Buffalo 4-3. A close game, but still a loss. They don't get a top player. All of their scoring was kind of spread out among the three games. So, yeah. Moving on to another team that absolutely does not have a top player this week, the Columbus Blue Jackets. 0-3, trying to get that last place finish of the league to try to get one Connor Bedard or
Fantilli.
Fantilli, I think,
Fantilli.
or Mishakov, I think is the
Mishakov.
other big. But it's a pretty deep draft.
Yes.
Past those 3, but those I think are the
big guys.
sort of consensus, at least top 3. Anyway, they started off their week by losing to Toronto 4-2, where they were outshot 50-26. Good job.
Wow.
They lost to New Jersey 8-1, where they were outshot 36-17. And then they lost to New Jersey again 4-0.
Yep. You drunk?
Nope, I'm sorry. They lost to the Rangers 4-0. I wrote down the wrong new team from the New York, New Jersey area.
Well, you had a 33% chance.
Yeah, and I just whiffed on it. I questioned it immediately because New Jersey is the next team up, and they went and their last game is not against Columbus. I was like, it has to be one of 2 other ones.
I made a goof.
Yeah, my bad. Goofing at the end of the year here. So New Jersey went 2-1 this week, beating Pittsburgh 5-1 to begin the week, where they outshot Pittsburgh 37-23. Dawson Mercer had 3 goals, Nico Hischier 2 assists, and Dougie Hamilton, who apparently just always scores against the Penguins,
Oh, yeah.
had a goal and an assist. They then beat Columbus, as I just mentioned, 8-1. Jack Hughes 2 goals, 2 assists. Timo Meyer 2 goals and an assist, and I almost said Dan Marino, but John Marino had 3 assists in this game. Not related at all to Dan Marino.
I mean,
And then they lost a close game to Boston 2-1
Yes.
to finish off the week, where they were outshot 40-30. They were 0-1 on the PK, but Mackenzie Blackwood played pretty well, 38-40.
he ended up as one of their stars of the game. So, like,
Yes, he did, yeah. And I think, if I'm not wrong, the game against Columbus, Jack Hughes tied New Jersey's all-time single-season scoring record.
Oh, good for
which
him.
was at 96. I don't know off the top of my head if that was the 4th point that he got in that game or if he went over this now.
right.
But it actually surprises me that New Jersey has never had a 100-point scorer because they've been around a while.
They've been around a while, but think of some of those, like,
A lot of their
teams.
championships were like defense
Defense.
first
Yeah.
championships, and Marty Brodeur.
Niederreiter, Stevens.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm not terribly surprised, but it's just anytime I find out that a team that isn't new within the last couple of decades has never had a 100-point scorer, it just surprises me.
I mean, I think,
Just because of the 80s scoring was so high.
right.
And but hey, we're getting back to that
We're
a
getting
little
back
bit.
to
Yeah.
that. It's amazing.
I don't know how many 100-point scorers we have now, but it's,
6,
yeah, and it's going to be more than that
because
by the end of the year.
Nugent Hopkins hit it. Marner's like a point away.
Hughes is tops 4 points away.
Yeah. Pedersen's close to it.
Carlson is close to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm just looking up the point stats right now. Just because I'm curious. What a horrible website NHL.com is. Jesus Christ, McDavid. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 100-point scorers because Rantanen has gone over it as well.
Yes, he did.
Pedersen is 1 point away. Marner, 2 points away. Erik Karlsson also 2 points away. Jack Hughes still at 96, 4 points away. And Tage Thompson still within spitting distance at 93 points.
I don't think he's going to get it, but
and
he's
down
been
to
playing hurt.
Almost definitely not going to get it. Braden Point and Sidney Crosby each have 91, but they would need 9 points in their last 2 games, which seems unlikely.
Yeah.
But not impossible, I suppose, but unlikely.
But Braden Point quietly have a 50-goal season.
Yeah, right. Damn. There's like didn't Pasternak just hit 60
He did.
last night? Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
So first time since 95-96 with 2 60-point goal scorers in the same season.
60 goal.
Yeah. Sorry, 60 goal scorers in the same season. They were both on the Penguins last time with Lemieux and Jagr.
Yeah. Well, Edmonton is the first team since the 95-96 Penguins to have 3 100-point scorers. And obviously 2 of them were Jagr and Lemieux, and the other one I think was probably Ron Francis.
Well, also Connor McDavid, the first person to hit 150 since Lemieux did it in that same season.
Well, specifically 150 and 60 goals.
Yeah.
He's the last person to do that since Lemieux in that season, and he's one of, I think, 6 players to ever do that.
Yeah.
So quite an accomplishment.
He's having an amazing season, but we're not talking about that.
We're talking about New Jersey right now, though. And is he the MVP? Is he? Yes, he is.
Yes, without a doubt.
Vanacek is New Jersey's top player this week, going 2-0 with a 1.00 goals against, a 950 save percentage. Jack Hughes, 6 points this week, is their other top player, 2 goals, 4 assists.
I am so mad. We'll probably end up talking more about this next week when we have a shorter week.
Yeah.
But the Devils look like they're going to be so good for a long period of time.
They won't make the playoffs next year, watch. It's just like, and that's not a dig at New Jersey. It just seems to happen a lot in the NHL where a team looks crazy good one year, and then the next year they're just kind of like mid-tier and they don't make the playoffs.
But here's the thing. Last year, all the metrics pointed when the
That's
Devils
true.
did not make the playoffs.
That is also true, yeah.
All metrics pointed that the Devils were the best team in the league if they had just had league average goaltending.
No, you're right. I had forgotten about that.
They now have league average goaltending.
They're better than league average goaltending. I mean, they shored up their defense too. And the Devils look like a burgeoning dynasty.
They have a backlog of defense right now.
Can't wait for those cap issues to start popping up. Anyway, let's move on to the Islanders, 2-0 this week. Beating Tampa Bay 6-1, where they outshot Tampa Bay 42-31. Brock Nelson, hate you, goal and 2 assists. Bo Horvat and Ryan Pulock each had a goal and an assist in that game. And then they shut out Philadelphia. Not that hard to do. 4-0.
Yeah.
Holmstrom, Horvat, and Dobson each had 2 assists in this game. And Sorokin made 27 saves for the shutout. And Sorokin is their top player. 2-0. 0.5 goals against. So just that one.
Yep.
Just that one goal. 983 save percentage with that shutout.
Good for him.
Good week for him.
It's going to be a very interesting.
It'll be an interesting Vezina. Sorokin's up there.
Allmark.
I would say UC Saros too.
Yep.
But UC Saros is on a team that's doubtful to make the playoffs.
Shesterkin's probably going to get some points.
Shesterkin, sure. Shesterkin has had a. You know what? Let's talk about the Rangers.
Yep.
They went 2-0-1 this week. They were 4 for 9 on the power play.
That's great.
They beat Tampa Bay as well, 6-3, 2 for 5 on the power play in that game. Mott and Kreider each had 2 goals. Zibanejad 3 assists, and Fox with 2 assists. They lost to St. Louis 3-2 in overtime. Both of their goals came on the power play. That was 2 for 2 on the power play.
Yes.
Tarasenko goal and an assist, and then they shut out Columbus, as I incorrectly attributed to a different team before, 4-0, where Shesterkin had 20 saves, Zibanejad 2 assists, and speaking of Shesterkin, he's their top player this week.
Yeah.
Going 2-0, 151 goals against, 941 save percentage with that shutout. So he might be up there but he hasn't been like God killer like he was
No.
last year, you know. But he's still been good.
Right.
I don't want to take anything away from him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who. Maybe those four. There might be someone else in the mix too. For
Vasilevsky's always in the mix.
oh, that's
so,
true.
like,
Vasilevsky too, but
but he hasn't had that good of a season on
By-
Vasilevsky standards.
by his standards, yeah.
I'll stop fucking around.
I'm trying to think of what teams have like really good records. Carolina's goalies, they kind of split time.
Yeah,
with Anderson and Ranta.
Well, they had
Ranta,
they had the
and then that other kid, what the hell's his name? He's in the minors now, but the young Russian kid who came up and played really well too.
begins with the V.
No, I think it begins with a P.
Paterka?
Maybe. I don't
You might
remember.
be thinking.
But they split time between all three of them. They've all played fine. But like
Carolina won the best battery award last
definitely.
year.
Yeah.
With their 2 goals.
Oh, right, with what's that? The Jennings? That's the
think so,
Jennings
yeah.
award, yeah. I would say Toronto, but Toronto has had like such a weird season in goal because Matt Murray has been fine, been hurt, been fine, been hurt. Who's their other goalie? Well, Wall has played some games.
Wall. They had Jet Alexander this week.
Yeah. I believe I just saw before we started, they have to have somebody on an ATO be their backup.
Yeah,
tonight.
that's Alexander.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what's happening with their goal? It's amazing that they have such a good record
I
with
don't
how
know
weird
what
their
happened
goaltending
with-
has been this week.
Wall, because he played this.
Well,
this week.
apparently, I saw somebody tweet that they don't know why, but they weren't eligible for an emergency call-up.
They might
for
have,
some reason.
They might have burned through them all.
I think
already.
you have. I
You have
think
a
you have
couple.
infinite emergency call-ups. You do have a limited amount of normal call-ups, which I actually didn't even know until somebody was explaining that about the Penguins this year.
Yeah.
I think you have. I think you have unlimited emergency call-ups.
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
I don't know.
Wall played this week, which is
Maybe
why
that
I'm
had something to do with it.
confused.
I don't know because the Penguins had to emergency call up a forward for one of their games this week, and it's the salary cap is why this is happening because these teams spend all the way up to the salary cap, and then when somebody is injured but not injured enough to go on IR, they have to like
Move some stuff around.
juggle some balls, you know. Let's talk about Philadelphia, who clearly doesn't know how to juggle at all. Going 0-4 this week, losing to St. Louis 4-2, losing to Dallas 4-1, where they were 0-2 on the power penalty kill, losing to the Islanders 4-0, and hey, losing comparatively a much closer game against Boston 5-3. In that game, Owen Tippett and Joel Farabee each had a goal and an assist. And I would like to point out in the Islanders game where they lost via shutout, they did outshoot the Islanders 27-21.
Yeah.
It wasn't by a lot, but they did outshoot them
yeah.
and got shut out. So, just a banner defensive and goaltending performance by Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is up next, going 2-1 this week. They lost to New Jersey, as I already mentioned, 5-1. They beat Minnesota 4-1. That's a fairly impressive win
It was
uh,
playoff team.
and I think Central Division title, first place Central Division hopeful Minnesota.
Yeah.
Gensel and Dumoulin each had 2 assists in that game, while Letang and Raquel had a goal and an assist in that game each.
Pittsburgh will not go quietly into the night.
And one guy who is seeing to that is Sidney Crosby.
Yep.
Because they beat Detroit to finish off their week 5-1, where Crosby had 2 goals and an assist, and that second goal was both his 550th career goal and his 1500th career point.
Yeah, so that's just
And he is the 15th player to ever do that as
put
well.
another check mark for the Hall of Fame right there.
First ballot,
Yeah.
obviously. Like I think I've said before, my dream is for him and Ovechkin to retire the same year so they can go into the Hall of Fame the same year.
Yeah.
Just because they came into the league the same year, I would love
They
for them to leave the same year.
Tore it up the same time.
So, no, Pittsburgh, even though they had a 2-1 record, doesn't have a top player because all their scoring was kind of spread out between all of their players. Washington finishes off the Metro going 0-2 this week, losing to Montreal 6-2.
Look, they've only won 15 games in the last 47.
That's fair. Strome had a goal and an assist.
Strome is playing hard. Wilson is playing hard.
Speaking of him,
That's
they
about
did
it.
they did lose to Florida 4-2, where they were outshot 37-24. Wilson, silver lining in this game, goal and an assist, and they do not have a top player.
Sandine.
Rasmus Sandin has been playing well. Now, in fairness to Washington, Ovechkin I don't think played this week.
No.
He is injured. He might just be done for the season. He's an old man. I'm sure he has some injury of some sort.
I think it's a lower body.
Yeah, it's nothing serious, but he definitely missed that
Here
Florida
and there,
game. He's
yeah.
missing the game tonight. And Oshie is not playing. There's a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Their normal starters are not playing. But Washington has clinched a potential to move up into the lottery draft to get the number 1 overall pick. So they clinched that with one of those losses this week. Let me just check
With the Florida one.
my news really quick. Carson Briere, son of general manager of the Philadelphia Flyers, Danny Briere, has been removed from his college team for,
Yes, he has.
In case you guys forgot, he pushed a wheelchair of a disabled person, empty wheelchair. The disabled person was not in it.
Down a flight of stairs.
Down a flight of stairs where the person had been carried to by their friend to go to the bathroom.
And they
a
broke
double
it.
amputee, I would like to mention.
Didn't know that.
And so he's been removed from, I believe it was Mercyhurst that he was playing for. And we'll see if he ever makes it to the NHL. Something tells me pieces of shit always make it.
Yeah.
So he'll probably make it
Yeah,
in
but
some way.
we'll see how long they last, because you got, Vertanen.
That's true. If he's a huge piece of shit, his teammates won't put up with it for very long. So that's really all the news that I had to talk about with the Metro.
Tony D'Angelo's been a healthy scratch for the last 4 games.
That's true, but he's been playing really poorly.
Yeah. Also, Quinnipiac won the NCAA
That's true.
tournament.
That's actually kind of near us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's their first ever win. They beat.
Yeah, congrats.
Who did they beat?
I don't remember. Michigan?
Minnesota, I think.
Minnesota?
Yeah.
It was one of them, because I know that,
It was a 3-2 overtime win.
yes.
It was Minnesota.
It was Minnesota.
It was Minnesota.
Because after that game was over, a bunch of the guys from Minnesota and Quinnipiac and whoever, they started to sign entry-level deals to play the last handful of games, which I think is really funny, because it's like, oh, okay, you're going to burn a year off that entry-level contract to play 2 games in the regular season. Now, to be fair, for Toronto, I know that a kid, Matthew Nies? It's Knies. He just signed a deal with Toronto. I believe he is debuting tonight.
Ooh, good for him.
Now, for him, he gets to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think. I actually don't know.
Don't look at me.
I don't know if the NHL has a eligibility to play in the playoffs if you're signed right the week before the playoffs. But
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know off the top of my head. But that's it for the Metro.
All right, we're going to start off with Pacific. West Coast, starting off with Anaheim. They went and did Anaheim things. 1-2 this week. They're 23, 45, and 12. 58 points.
Hey, almost to 60.
Almost to
Couple
60.
games left. Get that one win.
They lost in a close 3-1 game to Edmonton, with Terry getting the 1 goal there. Dostal was in net, actually getting one of the star players of the game with a
look at
30
him.
for 32 saves. Then they lost to Arizona in overtime, 4-5. Oliver Eriksson-Ek was in net there.
Oh, really? Brother of Joel Eriksson?
Yeah, I believe
that's
so.
fun.
Eriksson-Ek was in net. Adam Henrique got two of those goals in that game.
Is it Henrique or is it Henrique? I've always heard Henrique, but it could be Henrique as well.
I've gone back and forth all season, to be completely honest with you.
I don't know.
I've never said it the same way twice. They're Tuchucks for me.
Just like Marcus Johansson or Johansson.
Right.
Or Johansson.
It's,
whatever.
It's the way I say.
It's one of them.
It's the way I say Kachuk.
You convinced yourself at some point that you were like, do you say the K? And I was like, no. Or no, I'm sorry, do you say the T? I was like, no. You say Kachuk.
Well, I knew it at first and was just being funny, and then
And then
gaslighted
you forgot,
myself.
And then
yeah.
you gaslighted yourself and not knowing. Yeah.
And then they finished the week off by losing to Colorado Also 4-5 in overtime. Dostal was back in net there. Vetrano had 2 goals, and they were outshot 46-23. 5 for 8 on that penalty kill.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Overall, they were 9 for 13 on the penalty kill. Henrik and Strome are their top players.
Okay, you said it differently now, yeah.
The top 2 players
Good
because
old Hank.
they did get 4 points. Henrik had 3 goals, 1 assist, and Strome had a goal and 3 assists. Strome did also get fined $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct during the Colorado game.
Sick.
Just knock that off the news.
Sweet. Yeah. There's been a couple of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties the last couple of weeks. I know Malkin got one last week for, I don't know, telling the ref that he was ugly or something.
I liked Crosby's unsportsmanlike a couple months ago.
Oh, I don't even remember.
It was
that
against
one.
the Kings. It was
Oh, I do remember
with
that.
Mikey Anderson, I think.
They both got one.
They both got one, and then Crosby was just like, all right, I'm going to earn mine. So he stayed off and pitched out the ref and then got another unsportsmanlike. So
Yeah, well, he was like, I'm getting kicked out of the game anyway.
I respect it. All right, moving on to Calgary. They went 1-1-1. They are still in the playoff.
I was just looking
hunt.
1 point behind.
They're
1 point behind
1 point
Winnipeg.
behind, and they play Winnipeg.
Ooh, is that the ninth?
They either play Winnipeg or they play Nashville. I have to actually look.
I got it right now.
No, the Jets play the Sharks.
That's snap battle if ever I heard one.
Hell yeah. I don't know what's going on.
The Flames are playing the Predators tonight.
Yes, so
That's a big game.
if the Flames beat the Predators, the Predators
that knocks
are
the
out.
Predators out. Yeah.
Then, so yeah, they started their week by losing to Chicago.
And then their last game is against the Sharks. Sorry to interrupt you.
They lost to Chicago, 3-4. Another
That's
game
pretty shameful.
where they outshot them by 10
man.
and lost by 1.
If they don't make the playoffs, they're going to kick themselves. For that game specifically, Chicago is terrible.
Yeah. But again, they're 29th.
I
One
know.
goal loss.
It's insane. Somehow
season.
their goal differential is still +7. I don't get that at all.
Yeah, so because 1 goal losses. Then they beat Winnipeg 3-2. That's
big.
Sorry, 3-1. They beat them 3-1. Markstrom
So big.
played excellent in this game, going 34 for 35. Came back from behind to win. Then they finished the week by losing to Vancouver in a shootout. Markstrom did
another
play well. They gave up a shorthanded goal. Lindholm had a goal. They were 1 for 9. Yeah, adjusted 0 for 9 on the power play. 7 for 8 on the penalty kill. They don't have a top player.
That'll happen.
But give me one gosh darn second, so I can look.
You got it, brother.
Calgary's remaining schedule because they play Nashville.
I just said it. Their last game's against the Sharks.
Oh yes, and then they play a cupcake team in the Sharks.
Well, maybe.
But that's very much a division rival who wants to ruin your day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I believe Winnipeg plays Nashville this week. That's what it is.
Might be correct. That might be. Oh, I clicked away from it. Oh wait, are they? No, the Jets are playing the Sharks right now. Jets played Wild.
That's what it is.
For the last game.
So I knew the
at
Jets
Nashville.
have a harder last 3 games.
Let me look at Nashville real quick too.
So this is why Calgary's still in it. Also, the Jets have been struggling.
The Jets have dropped off real hard. God, come on.
It's one of the biggest
NHL.com.
postseason or biggest regular season collapses in history.
I hate NHL.com and ESPN.com. They're terrible websites. Okay, Nashville's final 3 games are against Calgary, Minnesota, and Colorado.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's a hard one. Colorado's they're literally
Last
on
game.
the last day of the season. Winnipeg. Does Winnipeg have 3 games?
No, I think they only have 2.
They only played 2 this week.
Minnesota and
Come on. NHL.com.
Minnesota and the Sharks.
Oh, they play Colorado too, actually.
Oh, so
They have 3 games as
things
well.
are looking good for Calgary.
things are looking good for Calgary because they play Nashville tonight, and then they play the
Nope.
Sharks.
They play. Oh yeah, they play Nashville tonight.
Yeah.
We're talking about Calgary.
We're talking about Calgary.
Looking at Winnipeg.
Yes.
And Minnesota and
That
Colorado.
does look good for the Flames.
Minnesota and Colorado both can't afford to rest guys because they're fighting for a division.
Well, yeah. It depends. Colorado might be able to rest at least for that last game of the season, depending on what happens. They do have a 2-point lead on Dallas right now, and a 4-point lead on Minnesota. But for right now, yes, they cannot afford to rest guys.
Moving on to Edmonton. Edmonton, we've kind of mentioned some of the stuff earlier, talking about 100-point players. They have 3.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's really crazy that one of them is RNH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's just a late bloomer.
I know. A super late bloomer.
Still.
Former number 1 pick as well.
2011.
Hopkins, yeah.
It is the first time
12 years later.
breaking 100.
Good for him.
Yeah.
And honestly, he is stuck with Edmonton as well. He just signed an extension that will probably take him to the end of his career last year or the year before. I think it was a 6-year extension, something like that.
Yep.
Good for him. Honestly, I like seeing guys play for one team
Yes,
their
I do
entire
too.
career.
But Edmonton went 3-0 this week.
Yeah.
They are on a
They're
tear.
rolling.
They've lost once or twice in the past month.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. Matthias Ekholm might have been the piece.
Matthias Ekholm.
Might have been the piece. He's at plus 25, I saw earlier today.
Also,
since coming to Edmonton.
Jeff Skinner. Not Jeff Skinner. Is it Skinner?
Stuart Skinner.
All right.
Stuart Skinner.
Jeff Skinner's the race car driver?
Jeff Skinner is the hockey player that plays for Buffalo.
Thank you. All right. What am I doing?
Jeff Stewart is the NASCAR driver.
Thank you.
So you got 3 guys' names jumbled up.
I'm idiot all around.
Your mind is an enigma.
Stuart Skinner should be in the running for Calder.
Oh, yeah?
Because he's
played so well?
Single-handedly saved Edmonton's season. Because remember how Campbell was their starter.
That's right.
He stole that job. And it's before Ekholm arrived, kept them in the hunt for the playoffs. So they are they're not running away with the division because they are in second. But they are only 2 points away from Vegas. They're only 2 points behind Vegas for the top of the division.
Yeah.
And then mid-season they were in 5th or 6th place.
Yeah, they were. It was questionable.
Their defense and goalies.
Regardless of what how McDavid and Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins were scoring, it was questionable down there at the midpoint of the season. But they got Ekholm, and they have been positive ever since. So.
All right,
and they got Evander Kane back too. That helps.
48, 23, and 9, 105 points. They started their week in a potential playoff series game against the Kings, beating them 3-1. Draisaitl had a goal and 2 assists in that game. Then they beat Anaheim in a close game, like I mentioned. Klim Kostin had a goal and an assist in that game. And then they beat up on San Jose to finish the week 6-1, where they were 3 for 2 on the penalty kill. McDavid had 2 goals and an assist. He officially hit 150 points. He is within spitting distance of 160.
How many games do they have left? 2?
2 or 3.
Yeah. He definitely could hit it, potentially.
Yeah. But their top player this week is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with his 2 goals and 4 assists, giving him 100 points. And, we've said all we said about RNH.
Yeah, I mean, happy for him.
All right.
Better late than never.
Los Angeles.
0-3
this week.
No.
Yeah.
Come on, LA.
Well, these were 3 very hard games. Losing 1-3 to Edmonton, 2-5 to Vegas, and then they lost 3-4 to Colorado.
I understand that these are hard games, but you got to get at least one of those statement-wise, because those are 3 teams you could potentially be facing in the playoffs at some point. Definitely Edmonton or Vegas, one of them in the first round.
Right.
And then Colorado somewhere down the line.
You got
You got to get one of those wins to be like, no, we can contend with the big dogs in this,
And they are a better team than they were last year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All around.
They have been, since the first month of the season, unquestionably a playoff team.
Yeah. All right, they are 45, 25, and 10, so that's 100 points. In the Edmonton loss, Victor Arvidsson had the one goal. And then in the Colorado loss, Kempe had 2 goals and assists. They outshot Colorado 41-23. So they did kind of run
saying everything.
But Colorado did get a weird goal in this game.
Did they?
Yes. Bounced off the backboards, off the top of the net, into Copley's back. Into
that happened with the Pittsburgh game last week.
Just a crazy bounce.
Yeah,
that's the difference between going to overtime and losing in regulation.
I can't remember what game that was, but I know it was Ricard Raquel, and he shot way high, bounced off the glass, off the goalie into the net. Yeah, it's so weird.
He took 2 bounces.
Like that. Yeah, that's crazy that it went off the glass, off the net, off the goalie, and it took 3 bounces.
Yep.
Cool. I love goals like that, except when they happen to the team
to
I
you.
want to win.
Yeah. But that's the difference between going to overtime and getting a point there and not getting anything.
True.
They do have 2 top players with Adrian Kempe and Anze Kopitar. Both had 4 points.
Old man Anze.
Anze's just trucking. Kempe had 2 goals and 2 assists. Kopitar had a goal and 3 assists. San Jose's up next. They went 0-2-1 this week. 22.
That's more.
That's right.
No. That's more expected for San Jose.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I had a brain fart there.
0-2-1, 22, 41, and 16. That's 60 points. They hit 60.
All right.
Losing to Colorado in overtime, 3-4. Kokkonen was their top player, saving 38-42. Then they lost to Colorado outright, 2-6. Then they finished by getting stomped by Edmonton. They were 0-4 adjusted on the power play and perfect on the penalty kill.
Hey, all right, there you go. You got something to tip your hat on. And Eric Carlson, very likely to hit 100 points.
Yes.
There you go.
They don't have a top player.
Yeah,
Seattle.
Makes sense.
Seattle. Going to the playoffs.
They clinched it. They clinched it, baby.
They clinched it. 4-0 this week.
Number 1 wild card clinch.
Mm-hmm. They are 45, 26, and 8. 98 points. 2 points behind the Kings.
Could jump up there.
They beat Arizona 8-1 to start the week. With Jared McCann having 2 goals. Their penalty kill was adjusted 4 for 3.
Can you imagine a team losing that guy in the just for like nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing. Just making a really bad decision.
I can't imagine.
Can you imagine a general manager doing that?
Multiple
that guy's
times.
Almost got 40 goals this year.
Right.
Losing both him and Brandon Tanev. Who could imagine that happening? Ron Hextall.
Here's the thing. Eberle also had a great week, so I did think we were talking about Lou Lamoriello and Eberle.
You could talk about both of them after that. Yeah, you can talk about both of them
second.
for that. Yeah. It's just, I see a lot of Pittsburgh talking heads, obviously, because I'm from there. I cheer for the Penguins. So anytime anybody that the Penguins lost for basically no reason
is doing great,
they always point it out. So,
you got to... Chuck Fletcher's going to be your next general manager.
I will throw you out a fucking window.
You just keep up the trend of hiring fired Flyers GMs.
Boy, you really want to get hit with something, huh? You really want to get hit with something.
It's not my fault you hired a double agent.
It's not my fault either.
All right, then Seattle.
Maybe their next general manager will be Mario Lemieux.
Ooh, he's already an owner.
That doesn't mean he can't be the general manager.
Oh, and then Lemieux puts the skates back on. Owner, GM, player, coach.
60-year-old player. I don't even know how old he is. I think he's close to 60 at this point. But can you imagine he comes out of retirement, 66, coming out of retirement at 66?
He at least pots 20.
If he scored, maybe. Maybe. I mean, he was so fucking gifted.
He pots at least 20.
Maybe. And playing fourth line center for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
I gotta look up how old he is.
All right. Then they went on to Vancouver and beat them 5-2. Jones in net there. Another shorthanded goal. Jordan Eberle, 1 goal, 1 assist in this game. They go to beat up on Arizona again.
Oh, hey man, he's 57.
Oh,
He could come out of retirement.
Oh, 100%. He's younger than Yager.
30 goals.
How old
No,
is
he's
Yager?
not. He is not younger than Yager.
How old is Yager?
I know Yager's
He's
rookie
51?
season was 91 or 92. So he is...
I know Yager's now in his 50s.
He's probably 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jordan Eberle again in the second Arizona game had a goal and 2 assists. Grubauer played well in net there, and then they finished their week by beating up on Chicago.
As they should.
Jones started the game but did not finish it. I'm not entirely sure why. He was only 15 for 18, so that's weird that they would yank him there.
That's not that bad. Yeah.
No.
Maybe he tweaked something.
Jamie Alexiak had 3 assists in that game. Adjusted. Give me 1 second. I had to write everything super small.
Clay has the tiniest notebook that you could possibly get. Teensiest, weensiest.
4 for 18 on the power play. It's not great.
No, well, that's not that bad. That's almost 30%.
Really?
Wait, what did you say? 4 for
18.
Okay, I thought you said 15. I'm sorry, but that's still not that far off from 30%. That's in the 20%.
Okay,
range. So
I just did math.
Like pretty
just
okay.
did math.
That's okay.
And adjusted penalty kill was 14 for 13. Boom. Jordan Eberle and Jared McCann are their top players, both having 4 goals and 4 assists.
Yeah.
Feeling great.
Yeah, I feel great.
So do the Islanders.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay.
Vancouver 2-1 on the week.
Speaking of the Islanders.
Speaking of the Islanders,
To that.
2-1 on the week. 36, 36, and 7.
Symmetry.
Yep, perfectly. 79 points. That 2-5 loss to Seattle, like I just said. Then a 3-0 shutout win over Chicago, where Demko was 33 for 33. And then the shootout win against Calgary, where Demko was 41 for 43. That's another 1-point loss for Calgary, where they outshot them by 10.
Nice. That's good.
Yep.
That's good.
So that's 30 on the season. Yeah. So they don't have a top player.
Yeah.
A lot of their stuff was spread out.
I mean,
What were you gonna say?
I think you said shootout win when you meant to say shutout win over Chicago.
I started by saying shootout. I did correct the shutout.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
Okay.
then a shootout.
My bad.
No, yeah. But you're right.
Shutout.
I did start to say shootout. Vegas is last up. They went 2-0-2 on the week. 49, 22, and 9. That's 107 points. Again, only 2 points above Edmonton. Just drop that right there, don't you, Ruthie?
You didn't see her do it, but so Ruthie has a bone, and she was so dramatic. She lifted her head up in the air and spiked her bone on the floor to make noise because she's not being paid attention to right now.
Good for her.
She's such a drama queen. God, I love her.
4-3 shootout win over Minnesota to start the week. Brossoit in net there. Dorofiev had 2 goals. Then the 2-3 overtime loss against Nashville. Quick in net. Pietrangelo had 2 goals in that game. They were 2 for 4 on that penalty kill. Not good.
Not great.
Then they beat the Kings 5-2. Brossoit in net again. Chandler Stevenson had a goal and 2 assists. They were 0 for 1 on that penalty kill there. And gave up a shorthanded goal.
Tighten that up before the playoffs.
Gave up a shorthanded
goal. They gave up a shorthanded goal.
And then finishing the week with a 1-2 shootout loss against Dallas. Quick was their star player in that game, going 24 for 25. They were 5 for 9 on the penalty kill. Tighten it up.
Yeah, that's not good.
They went 2 for 2 once, and everyone else
That can lose you a playoff series doing that
Easily.
shit. Yeah.
easily. And going 1 for 13,
On the power play.
0 for 13. It's not what you want.
You got to have at least like kind of average.
A lot of their guys are banged, or some of their guys are banged up right now, but everyone's guys are banged up right now.
It's true.
All right. Chandler Stevenson
go ahead.
is their
Yeah.
top player with that stat line because he had 1 goal and 3 assists. Now, that's a point per game. He only played 3 games.
Okay.
So, yeah,
we'll give it
that's
to
why
him.
I get
Yeah,
got
give
it.
it to him.
News-wise, we're going to finish up real quick.
Can I ask you really quick?
Yes.
What is Logan Thompson's status with Vegas? Is he still on LTIR? What happened?
He's still
I thought
injured.
he came back.
He did come back for a game and then got
then got
re-hurt.
hurt.
Yeah.
I did see, maybe this is in your news, but I saw Mark Stone has started to practice with
It
Vegas.
was not in my news, but
Oh, okay. Yeah.
thank you for
that
bringing that up. I
happened
didn't
just a little while ago.
I didn't see that. Anaheim. Gibson has been out with an illness. That's why he didn't play at all this week. And then
Makes sense.
Harrington is out.
An illness called, I don't want to play for this team the rest of the season.
Yeah, maybe. Harrington is out with an upper body. Might be done for the season. For
only
San
2 more
Jose,
games.
Vale, Vlasic, and Lind. Is that Holm or Lindbaum? It's
Oh,
Lindbaum.
it's Lundbaum
Yeah,
because
it's Lundbaum.
he was the kid from Philly
Yeah.
that beat cancer. I remember.
They're both out. For Vale, it's an upper body, and Vlasic and Lindbaum, it's undisclosed. Finally, for Vegas, Eichel is out with an undisclosed, and then White Cloud is out with lower body. So,
All right.
who knows what's going to happen? Who knows if they're just hiding stuff for the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean,
It's just you made
there's
the
always
playoffs,
that.
and
There's always that like, is he injured right now? You know, kind of thing.
Or
But
are
I
you
think
just
I
being
think for
coy?
Vegas they would want them to play if they can play because it's so
yes,
tightly contested. It's not like they're 10 points up
No.
on their division right now. But let's talk about the Central Division. Arizona going 1-2 this week, getting swamped by Seattle 8-1.
yes, they did.
Where Prostetstov lit in all 8 goals and was 24 of 32.
Poor bastard.
Yeah, they left him in there. I don't remember if Imelka got hurt or something, but I feel like he hasn't been playing.
I don't know.
I don't remember. They then lost to Seattle 4-2. Again, they losing 2 games to Seattle this week. But hey, they beat one of the only teams that's worse than them in Anaheim 5-4 in overtime.
Woo.
Keller and Marcelli had a goal and an assist. Moser 2 assists, and Brett Hayden had the overtime game winner.
Mercelli might be should be in the conversation for
I
Calder.
think he's going to be up there for the conversation. He is their top player this week too. Goal and 3 assists.
I believe
he hasn't had like a super good year.
I think he has the same amount of points as Beniers with less games.
I want to say he has like 40 something points. I think not like a ton of points, like a half a point per game kind of guy. But yeah, him, Berniers, maybe Stuart Skinner is up there for Calder.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head. And I can go ahead and call it unless he gets injured. Connor Bedard's probably going to win the Calder next year. Just because of name recognition, and I'm sure he'll play at least kind of well.
Well, I mean, McDavid didn't win it his first year.
McDavid only played like half the season.
Yeah, because he had his knee blown up.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. I was like, oh, God, I hope that's not a harbinger of things to come with that kid. And it wasn't.
It wasn't.
He's been mostly healthy since then. Knock on wood.
His knee exploded. The fact that he's been able to come back and play as supposed to be as he is.
Chicago up next, going 1-2 this week, beating Calgary, as Clay already mentioned, 4-3, where Reichel had 2 assists and Anthony Ciu had 2 goals.
Ooh.
Nice to see you, Anthony Ciu.
Oh, boo.
They got shut out by Vancouver 3-0.
Yep.
And then got smacked by Seattle. Seattle doing a bunch of smacking this week.
They did.
7-3. Jones, that's Seth Jones, had 2 goals. Reichel had another goal and an assist in this game, and FCU had 2 assists in this game. And they have 2 top players, and I mentioned them both in their the games that I talked about. Anyone else other than just the score? Anthony Ciu had 2 goals and 2 assists, and Reichel had a goal and 3 assists this week. Look at that!
Look at that!
Look at those guys.
Just
trying.
look at that! Just look at it.
I love it.
Yep.
Washington's beating the Islanders right now. Let's hope they don't pull the Penguins and blow that lead. Colorado, 4-0 this week.
Yeah.
Rounding in the form just in time for the playoffs.
Yup.
They beat San Jose 4-3 in overtime, where they outshot them 42-31, which I believe Clay already mentioned. McKinnon, 2 goals and an assist. Tays and Rantanen each had 2 assists. Colorado then beat San Jose again, 6-2. Rantanen, 3 goals and an assist. McKinnon, a goal and 3 assists. Myers, 2 goals. And Nieto and Girard each had 2 assists in that game.
Yep.
They beat LA 4-3, where Malgin, 2 goals. Georgiev was 38 of 41 in that game. And then they beat Anaheim, and it's probably a too close for comfort game for Colorado, 5-4 in overtime.
Anaheim did that to a couple teams this week.
Yeah. Anaheim is like, ooh, I'm going to get you.
I'm going to get you.
Never mind, I lost. They were 3 for 8 on the power play in that game. McKinnon, 2 goals and an assist. Rantanen, 2 goals and 2 assists. Tays, 3 assists, and that is Devin Tays, in case anybody is wondering.
I am.
I believe brother of Jonathan Tays, but he is a defenseman.
Yes.
McKinnon and Rantanen, 5 goals and 5 assists each this week. So you think those guys are ready for they won another Stanley Cup? I think those guys won another Stanley Cup.
I think they won another Stanley Cup.
I think they would like to face Boston in the Stanley Cup Finals. But another team that might stand in their way, the Dallas Stars, going 3-0 this week. 4 for 8 on the power play this week. Was Dallas. They beat Nashville 5-1, 2 for 4 on the power play in that game. Robertson, a goal and 3 assists. Heiskanen, 2 assists. Pavelski, a goal and an assist. Sorry, I almost read their top players because it was like right below it. They beat Philadelphia, who hasn't, 4-1, where they were 2 for 2 on the power play in that game.
Yep.
Pavelski, a goal and 2 assists. Robertson, 2 goals in that game. And then they beat Vegas in a shootout.
Yes.
2-1. Rope Hintz had the only shootout goal in that game. I actually watched the end of that game because I was like, this is a pretty big game.
Right.
Against 2 playoff teams. And I was waiting for the Florida and Islanders games to come on. Robertson is one of their top players. 3 goals, 3 assists. That young man is over 100 points on the season.
Yes, he is.
First time in Dallas Stars history that somebody has gotten over 100 points. Ottinger is their other top player, 2-0. 9-6 goals against and a .956 save percentage.
Wow.
Moving on to Minnesota, not as good a week as their other top 3 Central Division teams. Going 1-1-1 this week. Losing to Vegas 4-3 in a shootout. Matthew Boldy had a goal and an assist. Losing to Pittsburgh 4-1.
Yep, that's a big one.
And then beating St. Louis 5-3. Sam Steele and Ryan Hartman had a goal and an assist each. And in case I forgot, Sam Steele was on Minnesota. I don't know if you did.
I knew
I'd forgotten that's where he signed.
Yeah, we haven't talked about him much.
No, he's had kind of a quiet year, but I think this is maybe the first time I've mentioned him this year.
If not the
but
second.
Gustav Nyquist had 2 assists.
Ooh, he's playing.
And Gustav Nyquist, the man who the NHL was like, we're going to watch that situation really closely if he doesn't play until the playoffs. Cap circumvention thing, which is like, have you not paid attention to Vegas or Toronto or any of the other teams that have been doing that?
Like,
no, you're right. Gustav Nyquist is the guy you need to look into. Whatever. They don't have a top player. All of their scoring was spread out, like a bunch of other teams. Nashville, 2-2 this week. Not helping themselves too much.
Nope.
Losing to Dallas 5-1 to begin their week. They were 2 for 4 on the penalty kill in that game. Beating Vegas 3-2. 2 for 4 on the power play in that game. Thomas Novak has just like erupted the last couple of months for Nashville after signing a league minimum deal. Has put up I think a 30 goal pace in the last couple of months. 2 goals and an assist in this game. While Cody Glass had the overtime game winner and an assist on top of that. They then shut out Carolina, shockingly. That's a 3-0 game. Saros, 33 saves in that shutout. Jankowski, a goal and an assist. And Stastny, not
Paul?
Stasny, no.
Not Paul?
No, he is a young defenseman.
What's going on?
I don't know. He's one of these guys that Nashville just has all of a sudden and that are scoring points, like Thomas Novak and Evangelista the last few weeks.
Not Evangelista.
No,
Evangelista.
Evangelista. Sorry, yes, that's his entire last name. I'll be honest, I have no idea what his first name is. Stastny had 2 assists in this game.
It would be funny if it was Evan.
Evan Evangelista.
Yep.
That would be. His parents do not have an imagination if they did that. Then they got shut out by Winnipeg to finish off the week, 2-0, where they were outshot 38-28. They do not have a top player this week. Again, scoring very spread out for them. St. Louis is next, 2-1. Okay, they had 6 power plays this week.
Yeah.
What do you think their power play conversion rate was?
-2.
It was -2.
Boom.
It was. They did not score and gave up 2 shorthanded goals against. Look at you.
None of them played any of my teams.
And they went 2-1 this week.
Stupid.
St. Louis has had a bunch. I think the last few weeks, St. Louis has had a bunch of those statistics that are like, how did you win?
Yeah.
How did you win any game this week?
Well,
and they went above 500 this week.
I saw Hartman cook Bennington.
Yeah,
in that
was
breakaway.
that was the last game of the week. They beat Philadelphia to begin the week 4-2, where Torpochenko had a goal and an assist, and Falk had a goal and an assist. They beat the Rangers in overtime 3-2, 0-for-2 on the power play penalty kill in that game. Kasperi Kapanen had an overtime game winner in that game, and then they lost to Minnesota to finish off the week 5-3. Where Ryan Hartman, for one of those goals, just made Binnington look silly, which isn't honestly that hard to do.
Well, here's the thing. I will give Binnington some credit on this goal because it was
dirty.
Well,
it was a pretty dirty goal.
It was dirty.
Dirty in a good way.
It was Hartman. It was a complete breakaway.
Yeah.
No defenders on his own. Binnington tried to rush out and meet him halfway because Hartman didn't fully have control of the puck at the time. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where, like, if Binnington would have touched the puck or gotten there first, great play. Problem is, Hartman got there first, deked around him, and then just potted it.
Yeah. Breakaways are so hard for goalies. I do really love it when goalies go like full on aggressive and they try to come out and meet and like poke check the guy when they're on the breakaway. It's like 75% of the time it does not work.
No,
I saw one time.
But sometimes like
it looks really cool.
Sometimes you look up and then the goalie is charging you, and some guys panic.
Like, oh God!
Some guys panic.
There was I don't remember who the goalie was, but I believe it was Chris Kunitz of the Penguins had a breakaway like that, and he came out. And whoever the goalie was came out to challenge him like that. Ended up running into Kunitz and tripping him and like flipping him over, completely missing the puck. And after he did that, the puck just like kind of slowly slid into the net.
Trickled into the net. Oh, buddy.
And it was just like, it still counted as a goal for Kunitz, but they just like collided and Kunitz did like a flip, but it still scored the goal.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, man. All right, Justin Falk is St. Louis's top player of the week, having a goal and 4 assists. He's been playing pretty well the last few weeks for them. Winnipeg finishing off, going 1-1. Only 2 games this week. They lost to Calgary, which could be a very big loss.
Yes.
Losing 3-1. And then they shut out Nashville, which could be a big win, depending on what happens here on out. 2-0 was that. Hellebuck, 28 saves in that shutout. And Hellebuck is their top player, going 1-1. 151 goals against, 952 save percentage with that shutout.
Yep.
So, going down, all of this news is kind of interesting.
Okay.
The Coyotes are suing the city of Phoenix
cool.
for $2.3 billion.
Awesome.
Because of the
aforementioned suing that we were talking about.
The aforementioned suing we talked about last week that I think Phoenix was doing, not to the Coyotes, but to the development.
City of Tempe.
Yeah, to the development that was going to have the Coyotes' new arena. And so now the Coyotes are countersuing Phoenix.
Well, I think part of the reason for that is that Phoenix originally said it was fine for them to do this in Tempe. And now they're worried with this new stadium, the Suns might leave.
Oh, and go to Tempe.
So that's why they're doing this, to delay the whole problem. So
it's such an eye-roll bureaucratic nonsense.
Pettiness bullshit.
Bullshit thing. Here's something interesting. The AHL Chicago Wolves
Yeah.
are becoming independent after their contract is up with Carolina this year. And that is the first independent AHL team since 94-95.
Really?
I think that's just really interesting.
Well, because...
So they'll sign guys, I guess, that don't have NHL contracts. They'll just have all the mercenary players.
The Wolves are a interesting team in which they actually are able to sustain themselves.
Yeah, that's why they're going independent, because they actually pull crowds, which is interesting because they're in Chicago.
They don't care about developing players. They're in it to win.
They don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in it to win. What's the trophy for the AHL?
It is the Calder Cup.
It is the Calder Cup.
It is the Calder Cup. It's really confusing because it's the Calder Cup in the AHL is the championship trophy, and then the Calder in the NHL is the Rookie of the Year trophy. It is confusing. Okay. I will give you that.
So yeah, no, they're in it to win it always, and don't care about development.
Yeah, good on them. I did see some hockey talking head tweet out. He was like, they should make a bid to become an NHL team.
They should.
They were like, it'll never happen because the Blackhawks won't allow it to happen, but it would be hilarious. Well, and they were also like, I would rather see a second team in Chicago than a team in Atlanta again. So.
Well, do the Blackhawks deserve to be an NHL team? No, switch them.
I do think every once in a while, I think it would be interesting if American sports started doing relegation like soccer does. Yeah. And football in Europe does, just because I would love to see the Alabama Crimson Tide get sent up to the NHL and
just get wrecked,
and see the Houston Texans get relegated to college football. It would be really, really funny.
It'd be the Browns, and you know it.
Well, it would be a bunch of teams this year. It would be the Browns. It would be the Bears. I just think that would be really interesting. And the Chicago Blackhawks get relegated, but the Chicago Wolves get promoted.
Yep.
So that's cool. That's good. Good on the Wolves. Adam Fantilli, that we mentioned already, one of the top picks of the upcoming draft. Probably not number one, but most likely number 2 or number 3 at least. Won the Hobie Baker Award, which is top NCAA player.
Yes.
Devin Levi, who's already on Buffalo, won the Mike Richter, which is the top goalie in the NCAA.
This is his second. And
did he really?
Yeah, he won it last year. My. And Devin Levi has 4 starts.
He's
4 starts in a row.
He's played pretty well for Buffalo so far. Tomas Greiss is up for the rest of the season, but that's 2 more games for St. Louis. And Minnesota signed Brock Faber, who is an NCAA player, to an entry-level contract.
Gotcha.
That's it.
All right. We're going to finish off with
Take us home, baby.
Atlantic. We're going to, of course, talk about Boston.
Oh, my God. Shut up, Boston. We get it.
Boston has set the record for most wins in a regular season at 63.
Congratulations.
They have, looks like they could beat the curse, because the record was 62 and they got swept in the first round.
They still gotta win that first round, which I would not bet against them.
No, especially if it's the Panthers or the Islanders. Come on.
Yeah, not the Penguins though. The Penguins could definitely beat
exactly.
them. Thank you for giving me some hopium.
I mean, Dumoulin, great defensive effort. He would do very well against
Jeff Carter would shut Brad Marchand and Pasternak down.
Yeah, 63, 12, and 5.
Oh, God.
They also have
so annoying.
131 points, which is 1 point away from the record of most points in a regular season.
I'm sure they will get that.
So they have 2 games to get 2 points.
I think they'll get it. Yeah.
They started the week by beating Toronto in overtime. A close 2-1 game. Pasternak had a goal there. You're going to get a trend.
Yeah.
They beat the Devils 2-1 in a very close game. She is in your room.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Pavel Zacha had 2 goals in that. Had both goals in that win. And then they finished the week by beating Philadelphia 5-3. Pasternak with the hat trick plus an assist. He hits his 60th goal. I believe he also hits 300 goals.
Yes,
in
he
his
did.
career.
Yeah, he did.
They were 10 for 10 on the penalty kill. Power play is fine, whatever. So yeah, Pasternak's their top player with 4 goals and 2 assists. So
he is really around it. Have they signed him to an extension yet? Yeah,
Yes,
they
they
did.
did.
Yeah, they did. Okay. I couldn't remember. I legitimately could not remember.
yes, it's like 8 years, 11.5.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have locked that down. He just scored 60 goals.
Yeah. All right. So they're just playing to see and looking to see who they're up against in the first round.
Yeah, they're just kind of waiting to
Yep.
see if they're playing either Pittsburgh, the Islanders, or the Panthers at this point. So.
I think.
I guess potentially Buffalo.
Did you see the Marchand hit on McLeod?
I did not. I saw there was some question about it.
I think it should have been a suspension.
Really?
Not because it's Marchand.
Just because.
Because the main point of contact is the head. And NHL has talked about over and over again, just because you don't line up your hit correctly, it is still on you. So, was it intentional by Marchand? No. Does Marchand have a history? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The main point of contact is the head. Also, yes. So, I think it should have been a 1 to 2 game suspension. Now, I said the player has a history, but that's not as big of a condition on why I think he should have been suspended.
Mm-hmm.
They say time and time again that
I'm watching it right now.
that the onus is on the hitter. So it doesn't. It doesn't. He got him right in the head.
He did. You could contend that he hit his elbow first, but
they keep saying it's not the principal point of contact; it's the main point of contact.
he did clip him right in the chin.
Right.
No, you're right.
So
That's kind of a tough call, but I wouldn't argue against a suspension in that case.
And I'm not asking it's not when when Wilson blew up Sundqvist.
Yeah,
That
was very clear.
That suspension was deserved. Should have been long. This 1 to 2 games. That's it.
Yeah, I
That's it.
think 1 game would have been fair.
But just to not look at it at all, it's kind of
No discipline at all. Not even a fine.
No, I mean, just to say, hey, we're not looking at it.
I don't know.
Fights are not why.
No.
Fights are not the main problem for head injuries.
No.
Shots like that are.
Yes.
And again, it does not look. It
yeah.
did not for Marchand. This isn't about it being Marchand. It didn't look intentional.
No. I think he was just trying to hit him in the shoulder, really, and
missed.
And he just missed and clipped him in the chin,
Which happens.
But it happens. But not everything looks intentional in slow motion.
Yes.
But you have to remember that happened in a split second.
Oh yeah.
In the game, so I wouldn't say that Marchand meant to do that.
No,
but,
I don't. This isn't like when he threw that elbow on Johansson.
Or he licked a guy a couple of times. Or he bit Letang that one time.
I don't care about the licking. I really don't.
I care about the biting.
Yes.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah. So there was some scrums between the Devils and Boston late in that game as well, because Pasta got hit by Timo Meier.
Yeah, it was a close game.
Towards the end of that game, so that Boston kind of took exception to. So if they end up fighting in the playoffs, that's going to become pretty spicy, and I'm all for it.
I'm going to watch as much of the playoffs as I possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid West Coast making it hard.
All right, we're going to move on to Buffalo.
They should just play their games so the East Coast can watch them on time.
It should just
play them at 4 o'clock. Play them at 4 o'clock your time.
Buffalo. Still alive.
Yeah, they
got
barely alive, but they're
barely
there.
alive.
Yeah.
They got 4 games left. They're one of the only teams with 4 games left.
I think they're the only team with 4 games left.
They went 2-1 this week. They're 39, 32, and 7 at 500.
Yeah, exactly 500.
85 points. They started their week by losing to Florida in a very tight game, 1-2. Then they beat Detroit in a shootout, 7-6. Dylan Cousins had 2 goals and assists in that game.
7-6. Good Lord.
So 6-6 game.
Yeah.
And then they beat Carolina 4-3 in regulation. Rasmus Dahlin, a goal and 2 assists.
Righteous.
6 for 9 on the penalty kill.
Nice.
Dylan Cousins and Rasmus Dahlin are their top players. Cousins had 3 goals and 2 assists, and then Dahlin has a goal and 4 assists this week. Buffalo's probably not going to make the playoffs.
A lot of things would have to go Buffalo's way to make
Buffalo
the playoffs,
has to win out, and then one of
two of the 3 ahead of them have to
lose out. So
2 of the 3 of Pittsburgh, New York, and
Florida.
New York Islanders and Florida
have
to lose out, and Buffalo has to win out to make that. So that's a tall order. It's not impossible,
but it's not likely.
It's not likely.
But here's the thing: Buffalo hasn't been playing meaningful hockey at this time of the year in a while, long time.
Yeah. I think
they're just happy to be
if they make the
now.
playoffs or not. This is a very positive year for Buffalo because they have looked like they haven't been getting crushed this year.
No, Tage Thompson, Dylan Cousins, Jeff Skinner have been playing well.
Rasmus Dahlin too.
Rasmus
Owen
Dahlin
Power.
Rasmus Dahlin has turned into one of the best, if not the best, overall defenseman in the league this year.
Yeah, he's like 23.
He's 23.
Yeah,
he's been in the league for 5 years.
It's crazy.
So you get some defense, get some good defensive defensemen, and shore up the goalie issue.
Hopefully, Devin Levi and or Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen can take that leap next year. Shore up the defensive depth. You know,
and they're in the hunt.
They can take a playoff spot next year.
They had 2 bad months this year.
Yeah, that's what's keeping them out.
They were really bad months.
Yeah,
but other than that, they played excellent. So Buffalo had a great season.
2 out of like 6 bad months.
Yeah,
you know. So,
they're beating the Rangers right now.
Yeah.
So,
we'll go over. I think we should go over really quick at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Any interesting games that are coming up the next week.
All right.
Not every game, just interesting
ones. All right, but that's Buffalo. Been a real fun season to watch them.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I would be over the moon if it's Pittsburgh and Buffalo in the last 2 wild card spots.
It'd be hilarious.
It'd be really funny. And then Buffalo can beat Boston, which would be even better.
Buffalo beat Boston once or twice this year.
Just saying.
All right. Next up is Detroit. They went 1-1-1 on the week, 35-34-10 on the season. That is 80 points. They shut out Montreal 5-0. Billy Husso 24 for 24 in net. David Perron 2 goals and an assist in that game, losing to Buffalo in that shootout 6-7. Husso did not have as good of a game as he did against Montreal. Lucas Raymond had 3 assists in that game, and then they finished the week by losing to Pittsburgh 1-5, like Bert talked about.
They got outplayed pretty hard.
Yeah,
in
they
that
did.
Game, yeah.
Their power play is 3 for 9. So that was pretty good.
That's not bad.
Penalty kill was fine. Lucas Raymond is their top player with 1 goal and 4 assists.
Neighbors are slamming doors right now. I will also say I think this is a fairly positive year for Detroit. Too,
yes,
because
they the same.
They've lost steam towards the end of the year, but like the first couple of months they were right in there.
Yes.
So
but think about last year.
And they traded off some pieces at the trade deadline too, which could
take some
equal
time.
out to some of that. So. I like what Detroit's doing. I think Detroit and Buffalo theoretically have a bright future.
And Ottawa, when we get to them.
Theoretically.
Problem is the East in general.
Yeah. I hate our conference.
Florida, 3-0 this week.
I would like to petition Pittsburgh to go to the Western Conference. In the Central Division.
Go on now. Get. 3-0. So
3-0.
They've been clawing back for that wild card spot. 42, 51, and 7. That's 91 points on the season. The Lion King has been in net. Alex Lyon. 6 straight starts.
Their goaltending is, I think, the biggest question mark.
Going 3-0 this week.
Good for him.
Got math real quick. I mean, with an
tomorrow.
with a 9.7 save percentage,
That's pretty good.
with a 1.6 goals against average.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the reason they're still in this hunt.
Hell yeah.
Because Bobrovsky's been out, so it's only been Alex Lyon.
Bobrovsky has not been good since going to Florida. So.
No.
He got that $10 million. And he was like, bye.
Bye. All right, beating a Buffalo 2-1. Lions the top player in this game, saving 39 of 40 for a 9.75. Then they beat Ottawa 7-2.
Damn.
They got outshot 56-30 in this game.
God damn.
Yeah, no, this game
got out of hand.
just Ottawa controlled everything.
Mm-hmm.
But every shot that Florida was taking was going in the net because they're playing their fourth. They're playing their fourth string goalie.
Yeah, Ottawa is.
Yes, Ottawa's playing.
Yeah.
Marilainen.
I don't. Yeah, I've never even heard of that guy. Like you said, fourth string.
Yeah.
You should never be. You should hope to never play your third string goalie.
Right. Actually,
definitely not your fourth string.
Marilainen's their fifth string.
Oh my god!
Because they had Sogard, they have
Sogard, they have Forsberg.
Forsberg's hurt. Talbot got
as
hurt,
well.
played
well,
bad.
Their top pairing should be Talbot and Anton Forsberg,
Yes.
right?
And then they had Matt Sogard.
Matt Sogard played. Matt Sogard's played
Mandolise
okay.
was the other guy.
Mandolise, right?
And
I was like, who was the other one?
And now they got Marilainen in net.
Crazy.
So yeah, everything was going in the net. They were 3 for 6 on the power play, and 6 for 6 with a shorthanded goal as well against Ottawa.
Yeah.
Barkov had 2 goals and an assist, and then they finished their week by beating Washington 4-2. Lyon in net again. Tkachuk had a goal and 2 assists. 5 for 14 on the power play. 14 for 14 adjusted on the penalty kill. They're playing playoff hockey now.
Mm-hmm.
So if they make it, whoever they have to play kind of has to look out. Because, again, Florida's playing
really well right now.
Hockey
yeah, Florida's
right now.
playing really well right now.
And they can easily catch Carolina or Boston unaware and take it.
It'd be one of those two
series.
teams, yeah. Well, let's be fair. It could be New Jersey too, because Carolina does not have that top spot locked down yet.
Brandon Montour is their top player.
All right.
With 1 goal and 6 assists.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
3 games.
Good for him.
So yeah, they're looking to get into that one of those wild card spots. They have it right now. It's theirs to lose.
Yes. If they win out, they make the playoffs.
Yep. Montreal's up next, 1-2 on the week, 31-43-6. That's 68 points. Getting shut out by Detroit. Caden Primo is in net. ESPN doesn't recognize Caden Primo.
We do not recognize the sovereignty of Caden Primo.
No.
Caden Primo.
I had a couple of...
Well, it's just like Montreal is so down the rabbit hole with players right now because of all the... They're, A, bad team, and B, have been injured to all hell this season. That it's just like, I don't even know who this is that's playing.
I had multiple, like... Marilainen.
That dude, ESPN. Harvey Pernard, that's a hyphenated last name. It's Raphael Harvey Pernard, is on a 30, if he played the entire season, on a 30-goal pace for Montreal somehow.
Primo doesn't, the ESPN doesn't recognize. Marilainen, the ESPN doesn't know, so I had to go to the NHL website for all right, who was in net for these games?
Yeah. And like, they didn't have anybody playing in net tonight.
No, I had a couple where there was no goalies versus each other.
Good job, ESPN.
It was Montreal. It was Toronto versus somebody else. I don't know. Either way. Montreal, then, after getting shut out by Detroit, they beat the snot out of Washington, 6-2.
Yes, they did.
Joel Armia had a hat trick. Joel Armia.
That's crazy.
Joel Armia,
yeah. Of all people, had a hat trick.
That's more shame on Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Very good for Joel Armia.
Yeah, great for him.
Good job. And then they lost to Toronto 1-7. Montembeau in net. Chris Weidman had some things to say about that loss. They
Yeah,
were
that was
8 for 14 on the penalty kill.
That was a weird comment by Chris Weidman.
Jake Matherson? Josh Matherson?
What?
Which Matherson? Mike Matherson.
Mike Matheson. Yeah, I'm sorry.
4 assists.
4 assists, right.
So he's their top player.
Thank God he got traded last year.
Yeah, right. Ottawa officially eliminated. 1-1-1.
Montreal also officially eliminated.
Yeah, but I think Ottawa got eliminated this week.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Officially.
I mean, they've been kinda in spitting distance of a playoff spot,
Yeah.
but yeah.
All right, 1-1-1. They lost to Carolina 2-3 in overtime. Maryland in net, going 34 for 37 with the 9-1-9.
Mm-hmm.
DeBrickett had 2 assists in that game.
Good to see him show up.
Yep. DeBrickett's been playing pretty well recently.
Lately, not the entire season.
Touche.
Yeah.
The 2-7 loss that really encompasses Ottawa's season, where every single shot got saved.
Just went on in the net.
Offensively and defensively, every single shot went in. And a lot of the times where Ottawa's goalies did step up, they got no run support. Don't glare at me like that.
She's not glaring. She wants attention. Look at her.
Don't pout at me like that.
She's pouting.
Anytime that Ottawa's goalies showed up, they didn't get any run support, and then when they did, then the goalies were sieves.
Yeah.
It just sucks. Then they beat Tampa Bay 7-4. Cam Talbot didn't have a good game, but he got the win. They outshot Tampa Bay 40-24.
Did Tampa Bay go 0-3 this week?
Yes.
Wow.
So they went 0-3 2 weeks ago, or 0-4 2 weeks ago, went 3-0, and then back to 0-3.
That's not what you like to see. That's
Tampa Bay,
maybe a tired team.
Tampa Bay's defense has not been playing well, except for last week where Vasilevsky decided he was going to be good again.
Vasilevsky's not the defense. He's
No.
Yeah. I mean, even with a world star goalie like Vasilevsky, if your defense is playing bad, he can't win every game.
Vasilevsky had last week. Vasilevsky had 2 shutouts and one.
Oh, that's right.
And a 1-goal game.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
that was all him.
He can't do that every week.
No.
That's just like that's asking too much.
It's not how you win a
that's
series.
That's asking too much.
Or, yeah, you can win a series. You're not winning the cup.
Yeah, I mean, series are usually, unless it's a sweep, usually 2 weeks long. So, like, you got to have a good week in there somewhere.
If their defense, because this matchup has been guaranteed for weeks.
Yeah, against Toronto, yeah.
If their defense is playing like this,
they're going to lose to Toronto.
They do not stand a chance against Toronto.
No, they're going to lose to Toronto.
Vasilevsky will steal a game or two. He won't be able to steal the series.
Hey, but we're going to do our playoff picks next week. Though.
Next week. 9 for 6 on the penalty kill overall. Sorry, 9 for 16.
Oh, that's much worse.
Much worse.
That's much worse.
Yes, I know.
Oh my God.
That's why.
That's so bad.
This
is Ottawa, right?
Yes, this is Ottawa. This is still Ottawa. That's why I said it. That's bad.
Because 9 for 6 on the penalty kill, I was like, damn, that's a good week. And then you corrected yourself to add a 1 before that 6.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's way worse.
So bad.
That's so bad.
Adjusted 1 for 14 on the penalty power play.
Oh, boy.
DeBrickett is their top player with a goal and 3 assists, but like, uh-oh.
Barf.
All right. Speaking of Tampa Bay, we're going to talk about how they went 0-3.
Because I kind of thought we were talking about Tampa Bay for a second. Yeah.
They were 8 for 11 on the penalty kill.
That's also not very good.
Nope. Tampa Bay is 45-29-6 on the season with 96 points. They lost to the Rangers to start the week 3-6. Vasilevsky, this was the only game he played in, letting in 6 goals.
Oh, well, there's your problem. Brian Elliott played 2 games.
He did play 2 games, yeah. Braden Hagel had a goal and assist in that game. They were 3 for 5 on that penalty kill. That's not what you want.
No.
Then they got stomped by the Islanders 1-6.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Elliott in net there. And then that 4-7 loss with Elliott in net. Stamkos had a goal and 2 assists, 4 for 9 on the power play.
In that game?
No, in the
Oh, okay.
In that game, they were 3 for 5.
That's wow.
Yeah. But overall in the week, they were 4 for 9 on the power play.
Yeah.
So
hey, Braden Point's gonna have 50 points and they're making the playoffs.
look,
or 50 goals. I'm sorry.
offensively, Tampa Bay
Is
Tampa
yeah,
Bay.
They're there.
It's
Yeah.
the defense that you got to worry
Watch
about.
them pull some like voodoo magic and they're gonna beat Toronto in
Well,
the first round.
Is it
Just because it's Toronto.
Is it
man.
Tampa's voodoo magic or Toronto's curse? And we'll talk about Toronto right now because because Tampa Bay doesn't get a top player.
No. Going 0-3, no way.
2-0-1, 47, 21, and 11 with 105 points on the season. They beat Columbus to start the week 4-2. Wall was in net. Zach Aston Reese is their top, had 2 goals in that game, and they outshot them 50-26.
It might be the first time Zach Aston Reese has ever scored 2 goals in a game.
Maybe.
He is not a big goal scorer.
It's not the first time I've talked about him this season, but
no, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, he scored 2 goals in this game, and they outshot him 50-26. Doubled him up.
He is a defensive forward,
which I respect.
Yeah, gotta have those.
Then against Boston, they lost in overtime. Samsonov is their top player in that game, going 31 for 33. Close overtime loss against Boston. What do you expect? Then
3-2.
1-2.
1-2. Sorry.
Yeah. So 3 goals total.
Gotcha.
Then they absolutely stumped Montreal 7-1.
As they should.
Samsonov started the game, and then that amateur tryout from University of Toronto, Jet Alexander, because he's not a emergency backup goalie but an ATO, they get to bring him in just cause. So they brought him on the ice. He didn't end up actually making any saves. He didn't face any shots. But that's one of the things that Chris Weidman was bitching about.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That they bring in this ATO goalie.
Shut up, Chris Weidman.
I
You're
know.
on Montreal.
And you suck.
And you're like just there.
One of the worst defensemen on that team.
Ooh.
Mitch Marner had 2 goals and assists, and
I remembered something.
And
when
they
you're done.
outshot Montreal 46-21. Perfect on the penalty kill. 4 for 12 on the power play. Austin Matthews 2 goals and 3 assists. Real quick through the news.
Mm-hmm.
Allmark, McAvoy, Orlov, and Hall are all out this coming game.
They don't need him.
No, Hall is actually looking to play before the playoffs. He's been skating.
They thought not that they don't need them, but they I mean,
they don't want to get
Boston
hurt.
doesn't even need to win the last 2 games.
No, and Hall they thought was done for the season. That's why I brought him up. He's skating and he might play.
Okay, maybe the last
for
game.
the playoffs.
Yeah, knock some rust off.
For Detroit, Casper is done for the season. He is a young kid. He played like 1 game, got 2 points, but he broke his kneecap in that game. So
Oh, no, that sucks.
So that's his year.
But he's such a friendly ghost.
He is such a friendly ghost. And then for Montreal, Harris and Allen are both hurt. And for Tampa Bay, Tanner Jeannot is hurt as well.
Yes,
and Tanner Jeannot, it's not as bad as it looked.
Oh, well, that's good. Because that hit did not look good.
No.
Or that fall did not look
right. good. So his prognosis is more positive. But I was tired and lazy and didn't write down how long they were out or anything like that. So I'm done.
That's fine. The thing that I remembered, I meant to mention it when we were talking about Vancouver, was Horvat threw shade for no reason at the Vancouver fan base.
Man, for that one, he just got caught up in the moment. I don't even care.
I can give it to him there, but it's still like, okay, like that was kind of unnecessary. Because it's not like the Islanders were playing Vancouver.
That is true.
After the shutout against Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
he was interviewed after the game, and he was like, "Oh," or whoever the interviewer was like, "Oh, how's the, this atmosphere of these Islanders fans? They're like really into the game, like." And he was like, "Yeah, it's a lot better than Vancouver, I can tell you that." And it's just like, what? Come on, man! Like,
here's the thing.
You might be right. That just kind of makes you look like a dick, though.
It's not necessarily the first time he said that, because his first game, he scored a goal. He got a bunch of points.
Mm-hmm.
USB, their arena where Islanders are play.
Yeah.
They have low ceilings to make them sound louder. So
I
he's
see.
straight up talking about
The sound.
Yeah, it's louder than Vancouver. It's a different atmosphere because it's kind of made to sound.
It's just kind of built to sound that way.
Because his debut game on the island, he scored a goal, and he did say, "I've never heard a Barton this loud."
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
it's not the first time he said it.
I will give him some slack that he got caught up in the moment.
Also,
there, but still,
Vancouver fans have a victim complex.
That's also fair.
Because they don't have anything else to cheer for, so they just want to be hurt.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's take a quick look. Let's just take a quick rundown of the games we have left. Let's look at any interesting games. Obviously, every game for any of the wild card teams is going to be important.
But
so far,
but Calgary, Nashville,
specifically,
specifically,
that's later on tonight.
Winnipeg's games, Calgary's games.
The Panthers are playing the Maple Leafs tonight. That's a good game, you know.
Buffalo has to win out.
Buffalo's got to win out. Calgary, Nashville. That could knock out Nashville tonight.
If the Flames win,
if the Flames
Calgary's
win
done.
in regulation.
If the Flames win, Nashville's done.
Yeah.
Not even regulation.
See here. Oh my God, who scheduled the Blue Jackets and Flyers to play a game this late in the year? Maple Leafs Lightning play tomorrow.
Yep, that's a playoff series
there.
That's a playoff
series preview. Avalanche Oilers tomorrow as well.
That's a big one.
That's a nice one.
Kraken Golden Knights.
Kraken Golden Knights.
That's a
potential first round matchup. Let's see. Sorry, we're just scrolling through the games right
Hurricanes,
now.
Panthers.
Oh yeah, Hurricanes Panthers. That could potentially be a huge game.
Yep.
Depending on what the Panthers do tonight against the Maple Leafs, just to spoiler alert, it's still 0-0 right now in that game. Dependent, if they lose that game and Pittsburgh wins tomorrow, Pittsburgh plays Chicago and Columbus to finish the year, so they kind of have an easy path.
Yeah.
But knowing Pittsburgh, they'll blow one of those games. But
Columbus.
I think they might blow it to Chicago.
Honestly,
just from a guy that's watched them almost every game this year. But if they do win tomorrow and the Panthers lose tonight, this game against the Panthers, or either way, this game against the Hurricanes could be humongous. Yeah. And the Hurricanes are still trying to win their division, too.
Panthers have a hard road to get in.
And they do. They're playing Toronto tonight. They're playing the Hurricanes on Thursday. Those are the last two games.
Yeah.
That's hard. Let's see. Maple Leafs play the Rangers. That'll be a fun game.
Yeah. Jets Avalanche, if they want to make it.
Jets Avalanche could be a big game. Wild Predators could be a big game.
If the Predators beat the Flames.
If the Predators beat the Flames. Oh, the Golden Knights and Kraken play twice this week. Ooh. Those could be fun. Those could get chippy, too.
That could get
messy. And then Friday, there's only two games. One game that may not matter in the Sabres Blue Jackets, but could be important depending on what happens with other teams.
Yep.
And then the Avalanche play the Predators, which could also be important depending on what happens.
With the Predators.
With the Predators, yeah. So we got some things are coming down to the wire in the wild card. And potentially
which is exciting. Makes it
potentially fun. The Kraken could catch the Kings too. Makes it fun. These last 5 days of the season, every night there could be a game that's very, very important for the playoffs. So I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And I think you guys will too. And we'll be here next week to break down the end of the regular season and give you our playoff predictions. And then after it's over, we can laugh at how incorrect we were.
I mean, our regular season predictions weren't that far off, depending on what happens at the very end.
I guess that's true.
I didn't have the Caps making it, or I might have put them there, but didn't feel good about it.
Oh, that's in my other notebook. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And I hope you guys will be here with us. You can find us wherever podcasts can be found. Give us a rate, review, subscribe wherever applicable.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, like whatever. Tell your friends, tell your family. We're talking pucks out here, and we'll see you next week at the same puck time.
Same puck, please.
Bye-bye.
Bye.